everybody, how's it going? It's a Daily Shooter, and a couple weeks ago I was invited to take a 2-day Level 1 Concealed Carry and Tactics course over at the Force 5 Training Center in Lancaster, California. So I brought my camera down and I decided to show you guys my experience and talk to you a little bit more about this type of class, because I think this is the perfect class for anybody who is considering getting their concealed carry permit, somebody who wants to do the responsible thing and learn a little bit more about tactics so that you maybe increase your chances of surviving a gunfight. And that's, the biggest part about this is learning to practice the right way, learning the right tactics, the right techniques, so that if ever the day comes where you would have to defend yourself or your family, you know that you have a fighting chance because you've probably trained where the other guy hasn't. So that's really important. But the other thing that I think a lot of people forget to mention is it's a lot of fun. You are surrounded by like-minded people who are there to learn a little bit more about defending themselves, who are into firearms, and it's a blast. So first I'm going to let you hear from Bob Anderson. He is the legendary instructor, and tell you a little bit more about his background.
One of my employments, I was working for the Johnson & Johnson family, the pharmaceutical empire, and so we had an unlimited budget. So I took advantage of that, and I hired John Farnham and Manny Capelson as our director of security, and these are two of the best in the world. So we got to shoot every week and qualify once a month. We had unlimited ammunition. So that was a good shot in the arm. And as the years rolled by, I am a Glock and armor and instructor, Mossberg, NRA, front sight, Delta, Peregrine. So I've been expanding my knowledge as it goes on because I needed it for my vocation. I've been up against the KGB, the IRA, I've been shot twice. So what I bring to you is things that, again, we're going to keep you alive on the street, not just theory and principle, but actual movement and use of cover and concealment is going to be your best friend for a lot of different reasons. You won't have to shoot somebody before it's time. Whereas if you're out in the open, sometimes you're not going to have a choice, and we'll demonstrate that a little bit later.
Now, one of the great things about this class was the fact that he taught something to everybody. So whether you were somebody there who knew nothing about firearms other than how to pull the trigger, to somebody who, again, has been shooting for decades, you learned proper holster selection, how to draw properly, slide manipulations, how to present, how to clear malfunctions, a lot of different things like that. After action drills, checking around you, making sure that there's no more threats present anywhere. It starts off basically with standard in the classroom type training. So everything is with snap caps or dry firing practice. Everything is basically done completely unloaded or with dummy pistols. And so it really kind of gets you to a point where even if you're brand new to pistols or brand new to firearms altogether, you get that confidence, that kind of comfort level with handling your pistol before you actually go out and do a little bit of live fire training. So it was nice. Now, what the person who is not new to firearms learns is if you're doing something and maybe you're doing it the wrong way, he'll teach you how to do it the correct way so that in the future you can practice the correct way, including malfunction drills like this one.
Finish with after-action drills. Once those after-action drills are completed, go ahead and engage your safety, decock the weapon, and set up for another Type 2 malfunction. Trip your trigger. Point in. Hard focus on the front sight. Ready. Go ahead and finish up with your after-action drills.
Now, this video is going to focus on day 1 only. I'm going to upload day 2 in a separate video. But on day 1, you spend the first half of your day in class doing dry fire practice. So learning how to draw, how to grip, how to squeeze a trigger, find the front sight, reload, tactical reload, scanning, assessing, after action drills, and things of that nature. But the real fun comes when it's time for live fire practice. Everybody heads out to the desert. We set up some targets. And this is where marksmanship goes along with all the tactics that you're going to learn in the class. Marksmanship is extremely important. You want to make sure you hit the target and you don't hit bystanders, and that's what he focuses on here.
All right, again, you're going to draw and fire, or you're going to press off 2 shots to the thoracic cavity and then perform your after action drills. As a reminder, once we draw, pop, pop, you move off the line, right or left. Be careful you don't step on each other. Look back there and see. Sometimes we stand beside you and we give little gang signs and we'll ask you, what'd you see? Most people will say, I didn't see Shinola. Okay, I just turned my head. You want to be looking. Sometimes in the classroom we put guns, knives, different things. You should be able to say, well, there was a gun laying over there by the bag, or you had 2 fingers up, or whatever the case is. Because if you get in the habit of going through the dance but not really doing it, it's not doing you a bit of good. Range is set. Shooters ready. Fire!
Now, this is a level 1 class, which means there was nothing there that was really intimidating. We shot everywhere from 3 yards to 5 yards up to 7 yards. And the real goal of it was to teach you the proper way to do something so that when you left, you could go to the range and practice how to do it yourself the right way. So really what we focused on was finding the front sight, shooting accurately, and then once you could shoot more accurately than you started at the very beginning, I was about a 3.5-inch group, and by the time I was done, I was about a 2-inch group, so I definitely increased my accuracy through this class. But once you got your accuracy down, that's when you started worrying about how fast you could be. So you could shoot quick, you could shoot accurate. The whole point was so that if you ever have to engage a target and you're in public, you hit what you're shooting at and you hit them where you need to hit them, because shot placement was extremely important. We had everybody in class shooting everything from 380 all the way up to 357 Magnum. In my case, I was shooting the Glock 17, so 9mm. And that was one thing he wanted to emphasize. Not everybody's going to have the same gun, the same length of barrel, or the same ammunition when you go out. And so shot placement was key. Once you got your shot placement down, then we worried about getting faster. And when we started getting faster, it was a lot of fun. He really turned it into a competition. And turning it into a competition took a lot of the stress out for some of the newer shooters and made it a lot more fun for everybody. So he had a shot timer, put some steel targets out, and you had to shoot either 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the targets, and then we had one that was further away. And then we kind of went over everybody's time. Once we went over everybody's time, then he really made it a competition, an actual competition where people were, getting eliminated, and you had to do as best as humanly possible to stay in the competition, and it was great. So he made it a very relaxing environment, and a place where everybody at the end of the day had huge smiles on their face and didn't even notice that they had gotten better. Some of the people in class who hadn't ever shot before, the amount that they improved on their shooting was just absolutely impressive. They went from barely knowing how to handle the firearm to being able to hit the target when they wanted to hit the target. And those people that had been shooting for decades ended up hitting the target more often than not. So if they were hitting the target 7 out of 10 times, by the time they were done with their day, they were hitting it twice as fast as they were when they got there, and their groups were half the size as they were before. So it was a lot of fun. It was definitely worth doing. And Bob Anderson is a great instructor who really just kind of a soft-spoken guy who he's not intimidating like you might think a lot of instructors are. So it was definitely worth taking. Now I want to see if some of the people that are still watching this video catch something here. One of the things we did was we were facing our partner with our pistol in the holster. We turned around, we drew on the target, we shot as fast as we could with as tight as possible group as we could, and then we did our after action drills. So we were looking, we were scanning and assessing to see if there was any other threats out there. I want to see if you guys noticed something. Yeah, so you might have noticed when I was doing my after-action drill, he was holding up 2 fingers right there. And if you didn't notice that, that's one of those things that they're talking about, You get so laser focused on what you're doing that when you scan and you assess to see if there's any other threats, instead of him holding up 2 fingers, he could have very easily been holding up another firearm. He could have been a buddy to the guy that you just shot. So that was something that I found really interesting. This was a great class. It was absolutely perfect for everybody from beginner up to somebody who is experienced. It's definitely the responsible thing to do if you're going to carry a firearm. Don't just think, hey, I'm a good shot. Learn how to address the problem, learn how to address a threat, and learn how to win in a gunfight, which is basically what you're doing. You're getting into a fight for your life. So investing just a couple $100s or a little bit of ammunition and some of your time to learn how to do it right could be the difference of the assailant winning or you winning, and that is what I think the most important thing is. Also, it could keep you from accidentally shooting somebody who you didn't intend to shoot. Another important thing, right? So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Part 2 will be coming up soon. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.